Hello, and welcome to today's crash course
With Bella.
and Bella.
Did you know Trump is actually trying to get rid of term limits? No way! No, he's not. That was fake news and you believed it.
Today, we will be talking about the problem of fake news. Fake news is a big problem today because it, first, incorrectly influences people's opinions. Second, sways views. And third, plays a large role in election results.
We took a look at a few articles to find some scientific facts about social media and fake news in elections, and we found quite some interesting results. So first we're going to talk about how to determine if what you're looking at is fake news or real. So first of all, never get any facts about elections or politics or anything from social media. That's just never a credible source. Second, you want to make sure that the author is credible. If they put their name, then that's likely means that they're willing to back up their statements and stuff like that. Second or third, their writing style. If they have typos and if it's written really poorly, then you know that it's not really an educational source, and so you don't want to get any of your information from that source. Fourth, .com, .org, and .net aren't always the most reliable because they can be purchased by anybody. The ones that are basically always credible are .edu and .gov because they're educational and from the government. And then last, if you think that the source is credible and you look at what is said on it, you want to make sure that what is said on that source is reflected in other sources too. So it's not just that one source that's saying it.
Okay, now to get into some specific examples, we're going to look at a couple news articles that we looked at for our research. So the first one I'm going to go over, the title is Facts About Fake News and Its Influence on the U.S. Elections and the Fight Against Misinformation. And this is by Miss Colleen Shalby. Okay, the first fact that we have from this article is 1,991 Facebook users who gave researchers account access to their accounts found that only 10% shared fake news, and all of these people that share the fake news were over 65 years or older. The second fact is that 10% of conservatives are conservatives and they shared fake news links. The third fact was that 0.1% of people were responsible for sharing 80% of fake news on social media. Now, it's very important that we understand that this fake news was shared through the social media platform, which is said to be the most prominent reason why fake news gets shared. It's through the social media. Okay, and the fourth fact from this article was false info was 70% more likely to be retweeted than true info on Twitter.
Which is very scary because, as we all know, Donald Trump, our president, is on Twitter quite a lot.
Daily.
And so why is fake news happening? Like, what started it? Well, it's caused by the rise of social media. I don't know that many people who aren't on social media today. The vast size of the internet it's bigger than you could even ever imagine. And people don't know how to spot sources that aren't credible. We as teenagers are taught it in school, but stuff like that was not taught, just a few years ago. And also news is spread like that because of social media and the internet. Doesn't matter if it's true or not, news can spread so quickly.
Yes. Okay. This article is titled Social Media and Fake News in the 2016 Election. And this was a jointly written paper that we downloaded from a PDF. And this was a whole book that these two men created about all social media and specifically in the 2016 election because we know there was big scandals between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton for the whole election time. Okay, the first fact from this article was 62 of U.S. adults get news from social media. So the problem with this is that we're not even getting news from credible sources. We're getting it from things like social media where anyone can post anything. And half of the stuff is probably just throwing jabs at the people that are trying to be elected. So when people are getting news from this stuff, it's not actually factual based. Second, most of the population share things from Facebook. As we know, Facebook is a big social media platform with millions of people on it. So when you're getting millions of people's opinions and views and they're making up stuff, it's not the best way to find out if something is factual or not. Third of all, many people in a survey that they took survey said that they see fake news and they just automatically believe it. And the issue with this is also that the fake news is getting shared, but in turn that people are actually listening to the fake news. Fourth, they said that discussed fake news stories were favored Donald Trump over Hillary Clinton. So this means that more people were sharing fake news stories about Donald Trump rather than Hillary Clinton. And this, to go further into that, for a specific number, 115 pro-Trump fake news stories were shared over social media. So those are some big numbers right there.
Another source that we looked at was a new study suggests that fake news might have won Donald Trump the 2016 election by Aaron Blake. Here are some false stories, along with a percent of Obama supporters who believed that these following stories were true. Clinton was in very poor health due to serious illness. 12% of Obama supporters thought that, which was not true, fake news. And then Pope Francis endorsed Trump. That's 8% of Obama supporters believed that. Okay, and then last one is that Clinton approved weapon sales to Islamic jihadists, including ISIS, which was 20% of Obama supporters, which is insane because they're fake stories.
Okay, so now that we've showed you a bunch of different articles and news stories and told you about the problems of fake news and why it's caused, we're gonna give you a quick test that you can use so you can prevent yourself from looking at fake news stories. It is called the crap test. Okay, the first C stands for currency, and this is under when was the information published or posted? So you wanna look for that. The second letter, which is R, is relevance. And this goes along with, does the information relate to your topic or answer your question? And then your first A, the third letter, is authority. And these are, who is the author, publisher, source, or sponsor? And the fourth letter, which is the second A, is accuracy. Is the information supported by evidence? And then the fifth letter, which is a P, is purpose. And it's, what is the purpose of the information? Do the author's sponsor make their intentions or purposes clear?
And so now that we've covered different facts and how to help you spot credible sources and how to know if it's fake or not, we need to talk about why it matters.
Like, why do you care?
Exactly. So it matters because it changes the results of our presidential elections and it spreads so quickly. And we obviously want to be as educated as we possibly can. And so I obviously want to be educated with the correct information, and I don't want to make a fool of myself when I'm talking politics with people. So the more educational information and more facts that you know, the more, the smarter you'll sound, the more information you'll know to have in conversations. And once we turn 18, we'll be able to know who to vote for based off of facts.
What you guys can do personally to help solve this problem on a local level in your community.
Exactly. So Bella and I didn't really know anything about how to spot fake news and really why it happened and stuff like that, but really just researching this for a little bit made us a lot more aware of the fact that it's a true thing that happens daily and how to spot credible sources and stuff like that. So honestly, this video is helping whoever is watching this presentation, because the biggest thing we can do right now to stop the spread of fake news is just to be educated on what it is, how it happens, and how to spot it.
And also, in turn with that, saying on your local level, if you see someone reading an article or you see them talking about an article and it doesn't sound factual, you could be like, hey, I watched this cool presentation where these two girls told me about all this fake news in social media, and you should really look into that more. And just telling people and informing them is the first step in them to changing things, because when people locally know, they'll spread it more, and then it gets on state levels and national levels, and we're trying to get people more aware about this because we think it's a big problem.
Definitely. And if fake news can spread like that, the information on how to stop fake news can spread like that also. And so just remember how to spot credible sources. Do the crap test. Make sure it's .edu, .gov.
Make sure you have scientific facts backing it up, like all the articles we showed you with percentages amounts.
Thank you for coming to our crash course.